Hey guys, welcome to Monday Club. I'm Gus Davis.
I'm Peter Bois.
TGIM. That's right. Forget Friday, forget Saturday, forget Sunday. It is Monday. Monday is the new weekend, and we are here to party it up with you. Welcome to the Monday Club.
Welcome to Monday Club. What is up, all you people in podcast land? My name is Peter Bois. I'm here with my amazing friend, Gus Davis. Welcome to Monday Club. We are Monday Club. You are Monday Club. Today, we cheers to a hard-headed girl. I get domestic and bake an apple pie. Gus goes hypnotic in front of Netflix. The dirty little football quiz continues. And stories from the road, I perform in a beautiful venue modeled after the globe. Gus has a run-in with a middle seat maniac. Welcome to Monday Club.
Cheers!
Cheers! Oh, man. Yeah, my intros are getting a little bit better. I'm starting to feel them intros. After 30 episodes, you think I might do that, right?
No, man. That was excellent. It sounded professional. It just rolled off the tongue. One take. It was amazing.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Well, today we are cheersing to a beer can smashing on the head girl. Did I say that right?
That's a big mouthful to say, but if you haven't seen this video, we've linked it to this episode. Man, I don't even know where to start with this video.
There's a girl.
Okay, yeah, so sure, we can just describe it. There's a girl who is clearly at a college party. She takes a beer can, takes her sunglasses off, which I think is a very classy move if you're going to do this this maneuver successfully. Takes her sunglasses off, slams the beer can on her forehead to crack it open, chugs it in one go down, and then puts her sunglasses back on.
Yeah, you're missing an important part. The beginning, though, someone tosses her a can of beer. She catches it one-handed. With the other hand, she rips the sunglasses off, smashes, chugs. Badass.
It is pretty badass. It really is. It's a little intimidating. I mean, if you're taking this chick out on a date, I would just imagine that this isn't exactly the kind of behavior you want to have when you're at the Ritz-Carlton. That being said, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, I could not party with this girl. She would put me to shame.
Oh, man. So, on one of the comments that I saw below it, someone was like, is this Stone Cold Steve Austin's daughter?
And there's this guy in the foreground in the video with his face just wide-eyed, mouth agape.
Yeah, he just can't believe what he just saw.
Awe of the beauty of this move of mastery of smashing beer. And it's like a full beer can, right?
Yeah, I mean that's not a joke. She just
had to have been
slammed
open.
it on her head hard enough to make it crack open. Yeah.
No, it had to have been open, or she had to open it at the same time. There's no way she could open a beer can just by smashing it on her head.
What are you talking about? I think that's the whole point, man. Yeah, of course you can.
Really? All right, go try it. Do it.
No, absolutely not.
I feel like there has to be some sort of air let out already. It
I
cracked.
think it's funny that the only way this works in your brain is that it's a magic trick.
Everything in life is a magic trick to me. There's got to be a secret. It's always the shortcut, man. I always want the shortcut around things. I don't want to actually solve a Rubik's Cube. I want to come up with a trick that looks like I solve a Rubik's Cube.
I think that there should be a whole book out there that we write that is how to do magic to make it look like you're badass when you're really not.
That's my whole show.
Yeah, so instead of slamming it on your head and cracking it that way, there's a tiny little piece of Scotch tape somewhere. So here's my question to you. Have you ever done any beer can stunts like this?
No. I have never smashed... I don't even think I've smashed an empty beer can on my head. Although that seems like I would want to try it now because it seems like the wimpy version of this. So I could...
I mean, listen, Monday Club, we don't have like lawyers out there or a budget for if you hurt yourself slamming your face with a beer can. We have no control over that. I have tried to crush a beer can on my head, and I instantly regretted it.
Did you start swelling up in the forehead?
Yeah, I had a little, like a perfectly round red spot on my forehead for 2 days, and that was that was not cool, dude. So, but my beer trick that I did when I was in college was I would take a beer can, I'd put it in my mouth, and I'd use my front two teeth to hook on to the tab, and then I'd bite down, and then, like, using my front two teeth, bite it down so it would open the beer can. So it sort of looked like I just, like, bit the beer can top off and then drank it like that. And that was really badass for a couple of months. And then I totally chipped one of my teeth doing that. And I like, remember drinking the beer and feeling a small little piece of my own tooth go down my throat. And I was like, well, this is what's called growing up.
I was going to say your dentist must have loved you after that.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
You ever go to the doctor, or in this case the dentist, and make up the reason why you're injured because you're too embarrassed to say it?
No, but okay. So I'm going to share the story, and I feel I hate you so much. So
I bring out the best in you, Gus.
I know, right? So before I got married, my wife made me go to get a total doctor checkup. She was like, "Look, before we get married, I just want to make sure that you're gonna last. Like, I want a pretty good guarantee that I'm not gonna get married and then you're gonna just die off in the next year, right?" So I went to the doctor, and
that's what life insurance is for.
Right. Before we went, we were, oh my God, I don't even know how to tell the story right, but we were wrestling and playing around, and she
wrestling,
yes, wrestling,
air quotes,
and playing around, and she put I had just shaved my head, and she gave me a hickey on the top of my head, right? What? Right? And so I go get this professional physical, and the doctor's trying to be all professional and stuff, and then he like looks at the top of my head and is like, "Oh, what's that? Is that a rash?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh man, I don't know what that is. We might have to get that biopsied or something." I was like, "No, man, it's good."
That's it? You just left it at that? He felt the awkward.
She happened to
presence.
have been in the room, and she was super embarrassed, but she copped to it for me. She was like, "Yeah, that's me." And then it was so great. His response was, "Well, it's good that you guys are so healthy and active," and then just like made a mark on his paperwork and then walked away.
That's great. Oh man, that my story is nearly not as funny as that. I was at a concert where there was some moshing going on, and I've had a few. This is my younger years as well, and it was in kind of a mosh pit, and I think I hit somebody that didn't want to be hit, and the guy out of the blue just put me in a headlock. Right, so he had me down on the ground in a headlock, and I was one knee bent over, right, and he's facing me with my head underneath in his armpit, and so I pick him up and I body slam him to the floor, but in doing so, I crash the top of my head into the floor, and I didn't really feel it much that night. BTW, I got kicked out of the concert. Only Gus's. You should see Gus's face right now. He's in awe.
Wait. Some dude put you in a headlock and you body slammed him?
Yes.
And got kicked out of a concert?
Yes.
And then you became a magician?
I was already a magician at that point.
Oh, dude, that's badass.
Thanks, man. You know, I got some street cred still hanging around me. And I went to the doctor the day or two later because I had a headache and my head was sore. And I told him that I was wrestling with some friends, and I hit my head on the table or something on the floor. And he gave me a CT scan, but was not bleeding internally in my brain, so it's okay.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Damn, dude. Well,
so that's my story about getting in a fight at a concert, getting kicked out.
Oh, well, did it end it? Did it end the fight when you body slammed the dude?
Yeah. We kind of got people kind of tore us apart, and then security came and everyone was pointing at me, and then he kind of escorted me.
Well, they were pointing at you in awe. They were like, "That's the guy that just like swolled up and picked that dude up and body slammed."
You know what I remember distinctly too? I was walking out, just following the security guy. I wasn't going to put up a fight with a security bouncer guy, and everyone's kind of looking at me, and I started doing the hands in the air. It wasn't me. I don't know what's going on. It was crazy. I don't know what's going on. I was that guy getting escorted out of the concert, being like, "It wasn't my fault. I didn't do a thing."
He started it, bro. He started it.
I just ended it.
Oh my God, that's ladies and gentlemen, Peter Bois. Oh man, well, dude, I think that deserves a cheers, man.
Well, thank you. Speaking of cheers, what are you drinking this morning?
It is really early, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get the taste out of my mouth, but I am drinking a Shock Top Ale this morning.
Wonderful. I'm going to the fall fallback. Not fall fallback. The fall amazing beer Oktoberfest. Delicious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're a big Oktoberfest fan.
Oh yeah, that's kind of the go-to in the fall. Pour me an Oktoberfest and I'll be happy.
I can feel that. Well, hey man, this is we're off to a good start.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening, being part of the club. We really appreciate you guys being here. If you like the show, give us a little love on iTunes. Give us a little review, 5-star review, or a little feedback up there, so people can know what we're all about. And or Facebook, you can chat with us on Facebook. All of our social media is at MondayClubPodcast.com. Or if you want to email us, talk to us directly through email or buy us a drink. You're always welcome to buy us a drink. Let us know what you want us to drink and send us the money via PayPal to MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com or just email us too. So, yeah. And tell a friend. Yeah. That too.
Yeah, we want to keep growing the club. You guys are doing an awesome job. Keep spreading the love and spreading the word of Monday Club. Let's pack this thing. Hey, I also want to give a special shout out to Mr. Rob Balchunas for winning last week's Monday Club Dirty Little Erotic Football Quiz Challenge. He got a free drink PayPal to him, and we will post a picture. Right? We will post a picture of whatever he chooses to drink, and cheers to him. So, Rob, thanks for playing, buddy.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Here's to you. What have you been up to this week? Anything interesting?
Oh, man, this week has been. I'll tell you what. This week has been short. It's felt like a super short week. Everything's just gone by really, really quick. Yeah, I've had some weird stuff happen to me. First of all, last week I told you I just got off the road from doing a show where I had to be awake for almost 40 hours straight in order to make my events work. And so my week started off with me doing absolutely nothing. Like, I don't think I even fed myself correctly. Like, I didn't do anything. I just laid on my couch, on my recliner, with, like, a little bit of water and some snacks, and just vegged out for a day and a half. And, dude, it was so bad. I sat down. I decided I was going to just binge watch the new season of Gotham that got put on Netflix. And so I started season 3, and I kept watching it for so long that 4 times during the time that I was watching it, Netflix asked me if I was still watching. Like, it was like, "Are you still there? Are you alive? Do you need us to call somebody?" Like, I felt very judged, Netflix. I really did. I was like, piss off, Netflix. This is my time.
You know, it'd be hilarious if they pop up like an emergency icon that says, "Do you want us to call 911 for you?"
I know, right? or like spiritual cleansing reminders. It was like, it's a beautiful day outside. We can see that it's still daylight where you're at. Why don't you just open a window and look at nature for a minute?
Dude, I have been watching Gotham season 3 too, and it is awesome. I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers. But
Yeah, I won't spoil it for you, but I will say it is great. I love that show. There was a show that was out a while ago with what's his name, Kiefer Sutherland, called 24. Do you remember 24?
Yeah, I never got into it though. I don't think I've ever watched an episode of 24.
Oh my God. Well, I loved 24, and what I loved about that show was the writing on it was perfect. It was like each episode started with him getting out of an impossible situation and ended with him, you're like, well, that dude's dead. Like, there's no scenario in here where he continues to walk away and the earth doesn't explode. And then the next episode, sure enough, he'd get out of it, and then they would sucker you into being like, oh, nope, everything's screwed. So Gotham does a lot of that too. Like the episodes will end and you'll be like, oh no, my favorite character is about to die. Oh, that's terrible. And then somehow they just keep it going. It's pretty great.
Yeah, and I love prequels because you get to see all the backstories of everybody. Well, I think they're kind of, obviously they're making up all the backstories. Or is there a comic book that this is kind of based after? Or, because sometimes they'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's loosely based on the comics, and it's I don't know, man, like, there's so many backstories to superheroes by now that they've changed back and forth and stuff like that I think you just sit back and enjoy the ride. And it's funny, like you said, it's a prequel, so you know what's coming. Like from the very beginning, from the first episode, you know how that story ends, right? Like, you know, he becomes Batman and what's-her-name becomes Catwoman and all that stuff. And so it's just interesting to see them just imagine what it was like as Gotham went to crap and as Batman did his thing and became Batman. So yeah. It's a fun show, and it definitely was fun enough that I sat there and just watched it for 9 hours straight. I mean, it was a ridiculous long time.
I get obsessed at what is canon, you know, what is supposed to be in the storyline, what is the real story. And sometimes I get too obsessed with that and don't even want to listen to anything that isn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, I used to be that way. I think I've gotten over it. I'm more into good storytelling. I can put aside fake fictional history and just be like, that was cool. That was cool. It's definitely better than Ben Affleck's version.
Hell yeah. So while you were sitting in front of the TV for 9-10 hours straight, I went outside. I went apple picking with the family, and it was beautiful, and picked a few pecks, half pecks. Do you know what they call it? The bags are called half pecks. Is that weird?
Each bag is a half peck?
Well, there's like a half peck, a peck, and then a bushel.
So, well, are peppers measured in the same bags as apples?
Pick a peck of pickled peppers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that Peter picked a peck of pickled apples?
Yeah, Peter picked a peck of pickled apples. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, all right, I'm in it. And I got all domesticated, and I baked an amazing apple pie, and it is amazing. My mom has this crust she makes, which is like the secret family crust, whatever, and it just makes the apple pie just amazing. And so my wife doesn't eat it. My kid's too young to eat apple pie, and I go on the road. I leave tomorrow night, so I have today and tomorrow to eat the rest of the pie, which is 3/4, because I ate a quarter of the pie last night.
Dude, I'm really jealous of your you have a whole lot of just fresh stuff that comes from your garden or that you go and pick at apple orchards and stuff like that you incorporate in your food. We have no garden here, and most of our food, I mean, we try to eat as fresh and organic as we possibly can, but it all comes from a grocery store. So, I mean, I see your posts all the time where you're like, hey, look at this, I got a giant cabbage, or here are all the carrots or whatever I just pulled out of the garden and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm jealous.
Oh, well, you can have a garden too, man. Just put some dirt down.
No, I can't,
throw some
man.
Seeds in there.
There's
water.
Too much Gotham to watch.
Oh, dude, I just got an email before we started. This is kind of a non sequitur. I get free bagels for a month this month from Panera Bread.
Wait, how is that possible?
I don't know. They've done this before. It's a weird promotion where they say you get a free bagel every day for a month. And so October, I'm having breakfast every morning at Panera Bread, apparently, because it's free.
So you got apple pie and Panera Bread just on lock at your house. Huh?
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's pretty nice.
Or I could just save them up, like get 7 over the course of a week and start handing them out to people. Stale bagels at my house.
Dude, I'm a huge bagel fan. I love going to Einstein's and getting their everything bagel and getting the Novalox, the salmon and the it's like tomato and onion and the capers on there. That is some good stuff right there.
Yeah, I've never had that.
It sort of makes me feel like I'm healthy when I'm eating bagels. It's better than when you go and you get. Yeah, that's right. It's better than when you go and you get the bagel with the cream cheese schmear, and they just pile like a quarter pound of cream cheese just on top of your bagel. It's like it's a swimming pool of cream cheese for your bagel.
I love cream cheese. If they put the whole block of cream cheese in between the bagels, that would make me really happy. I could eat that 100%. Yes.
Oh, I'm not saying I couldn't eat it. I'm just saying I feel terrible about myself when it's like I don't want to look in the mirror after I eat those things. It's like I can feel my heart slowing down.
Oh yeah.
Man, I feel like so I binge watched season 3 of Gotham. Then I actually started getting my act together. I did some domestic stuff. I got our lawn mowed finally, which I really needed to do, so that was good. So this morning you said this morning you got some free bagels. This morning I'm about to hit the road for about 2.5 weeks, and I'm trying to get some new contacts, like a different brand of contacts. And my eye doctor, who was amazing, by the way, I love my eye doctor, sent me these free sample packets of contacts that I could try. I'm switching to daily wear contacts. And I used those all through last week, over the last 2 weeks. And this week, I realized that I hadn't ordered any new contacts, and I'm about to hit the road for a long time. So I just bossed myself up there before we started recording. I went over to the eye doctor place. I was like, hey, I still can't decide which contacts I want. And they're like, oh, cool. We'll give you 2 more weeks of free samples. And I was like, woohoo!
Nice.
So I'm back in it, man. I'm back in the game. I extended my time.
How long do you think you could get them to do that for?
I bet if I tried, I'm already, this will make me over a month. I bet I could get one more round of 2 weeks out of this deal before
If you order them, right, and they come in, and you can get, like, one more round, you could totally pull a Bryce and start selling them for $4 on the playground.
Yeah, I guess I could, but just, like, open up shop and be like, hey, I'll sell you 1 day's worth of vision for $6. I mean, you'd have to have my exact same vision, but, that's on you, not me. I'm not a doctor. I'm just the middleman, guys. I'm just the middleman.
Yeah. That's great. Speaking of vision, this new iPhone 8 has an amazing screen on it. I've been using it for a few days now, and with iOS 11, and I am loving it. Can't recommend it enough. Go with the 8.
Have you done any of the portrait pictures?
No, I don't have the portrait pictures because I don't have the double camera. I just have the regular 8. I don't have the 8 Plus with the big honking one. But it's crazy. I held up the screens together side by side from my old phone and this one, and it's no comparison. The iPhone 8 looks beautiful, and my old phone now looks like shit. So it's crazy.
It's funny how that happens, right? Like the iPhone 6, the iPhone 7, both of those when they first came out had screens and pixels and cameras that were light years ahead of some of the DSL cameras that were out just 5 years ago. I mean, it was insane how much better they are. And then it's so weird how the next generation comes out and you can put them side by side and be like, oh, well, that's crap. I mean, I can clearly see the difference on how much better this new one is than the other one. So, yeah, that's I mean, I'm jealous of you, dude. I really am. I'm still rocking the 6 Plus, and I think I'm going to rock this one till the wheels fall off.
Nice. So that could be years from now. Those things are pretty bulletproof.
I doubt it. I think that usually what happens is after 2 generations of new product, Apple sends out the kill code, and my phones just start losing all of their battery life and start popping up errors all over the place. I've already noticed it start to happen twice so far. My headphone jack hasn't worked for no apparent reason until I restart it, and so yeah, I think they're just slowly entering in the kill code so that I go out and get a new one.
At least you have one. A headphone jack. I think they're trying to kill all the headphone jacks on the wall.
Well, maybe that's what this kill code is. They're sending it out and they're like, "Hey, man, that headphone jack sure isn't working for you right now, is it? We should just get rid of it."
Yeah, if you're not using it anyways, you might as well get a new phone that doesn't have one.
See how annoying this thing is?
It's not convenient to be able to plug into any set of headphones in the world at any time without any adapters.
Yeah, I saw the new adapter that they just released. It was $35 so that you can charge it and also have an auxiliary port. And I was like, man, that's pretty weak sauce there, Apple.
Yeah. Anyways, we should do some dirty little football quiz. I've been waiting for some Gus to read me some erotic fiction all week long.
Well, before we do that, man, how'd your team do this last week?
I am sad to say the Patriots lost.
Oh,
yes.
What happened, man? Did you cheer? Were you cheering?
I was watching it and baking an apple pie at the same time. And in between my kid running around, it was terrible. The defense sucks. The defense is in last place this year, apparently. They are the worst defense in the league, and they just gave up it's so many points. The offense, we were down a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and then Brady threw a touchdown pass to Amendola to tie it up, and then the defense needed to come back with a stop, and they had him. They sacked Cam Newton. They were on their third down, way back in midfield, and so they were going to have to punt it away, but the Patriots got a penalty, and that screwed everything up, and then they marched down for a field goal and won. So screw you, Carolina, and
sorry,
Patriots,
man.
Come on. What the hell's going on?
Well, here, let's make you feel better with a little bit of a dirty little football quiz, all right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go, man. These are from 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades of Freed, which apparently is the third book of 50 Shades of Grey. I wasn't aware until last week that this was a trilogy. So here we go, man. Do you remember the rules? I'll go over them real quick. We want to test Pete's football knowledge because we realize that most of you aren't exactly football fans, but we do want to encourage him and his love of football. So I realized that a lot of the terminology that's used in football is the same that's used in erotic fiction. So here we go. All you have to do, Pete, is to substitute the football definition into the sentence and get 2 out of 3. If you do that, I will buy somebody out there a free drink as part of the Monday Club. So here we go. I'm going to read this in my most erotic voice. There is a large wooden cross, like an X, fastened to the wall facing the door. It's made of high polished mahogany, and there are restraining cuffs on each corner.
I want to go with restraining cuffs because I just like how that sounds. I'm going to go with corner because that is the position of a player. The corner. That is a cornerback, which is a defensive player position.
That is correct. Ding! That is correct. A corner or cornerback is a defensive back who lines up near the line of scrimmage across from the wide receiver, mostly to defend against short and medium passing routes and to contain the rusher. So, ding, ding, ding. Congratulations. Now you got to use it in a sentence.
There's a large wooden cross like X fastened to the wall facing the door. It's made of high polished mahogany, and there are restraining cuffs on each defensive player that defends against wide receivers.
Good enough, man. All right, here's your next one. All right, here's your next one. Where are my panties? I checked beneath the chair. Nothing. Then I remembered. He squirreled them away in the pocket of his jeans.
You squirrel away panties? Nice. I'm going with pocket. The pocket.
Okay.
Is that correct?
That's correct. Ding.
The pocket is the space that forms around the quarterback after the ball is hiked and he's getting ready to pass, and offensive linemen are blocking the defensive players, and he kind of creates a little pocket around the quarterback.
Yeah, sure. Ding. It's the area of where the offensive line of the line of scrimmage where the pass blockers attempt to prevent the defensive players from reaching the quarterback during passing plays. So, yeah, it's the protective bubble.
That was right. I'm not going to get the rule book wording. I'm not.
All right, man. Fine, sure. No, ding. I already gave you a ding. You're good.
All
You're
right.
good.
Gus.
All right.
Gus.
Yes.
Where are my panties? I checked beneath the chair. Nothing. Then I remember he squirreled them away in the space where the offensive linemen are protecting the quarterback of his jeans.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, to go 3 for 3. Here we go.
So someone's getting a drink then. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, someone's getting a free drink. Yeah. It's close, he says, and reaches across to squeeze my knee. But she doesn't keep me warm at night. I'm sure it can be arranged. You could sleep in her, I snap.
Snap.
Yep, that's it.
You could also be knee, because you could take a knee.
Well,
in football.
Okay, all right. Yes, that's true. That's true.
So snap. Snap is when the ball is hiked from the center to the quarterback. It is the snap.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. It's the handoff or pass from the center to the quarterback or running back that begins the play. Correct. Ding, 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 ding,
Yay!
ding, ding. Yay!
All right. My final sentence. It's close, he says, and reaches across to squeeze my knee. But she doesn't keep me warm at night. I'm sure it could be arranged. You could sleep in her. I hand the ball off to the quarterback after the hike.
Fair enough, man. All right, well, that means that somebody out there is getting a free drink. Woo!
Yay! All you have to do is what? Be the first to comment on our Facebook wall?
All you have to do is be that's right. All you have to do is be the first person to comment on our Facebook page. We'll put a quick link for this episode on there. Be the first person to do that, and I will send you a free drink. Congratulations out there. And again, Rob, congratulations on your free drink for winning last week. That was great.
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road.
I was performing in Connecticut, and I got to perform in an amazing theater. It was modeled after the Globe in England. Do you know about the Globe in England or what it looks like?
Sort of. Isn't that where Shakespeare performed some of his plays?
Yeah, it's almost like in the Round.
Yeah.
Or I think the Globe is in the Round. This wasn't in the Round. It was kind of proscenium, but the walls were round. It was kind of a U shape. I posted a picture on my Instagram, but and then there are two balconies, and the balconies are equidistant to the stage, so they're right on top of each other. And then you have the orchestra seating in the bottom, and it was just beautiful. It was such a cool venue, and I just felt really excited. I don't know, when you get to a venue like that, you just feel pumped up. You're like, wow, this is cool. They're putting my show in here? This is great.
Oh, yeah, dude, absolutely. When you do a show in a theater that is a really beautiful theater that you can just... It hypes you up, man. It's really, really fun to just walk out and just admire how pretty some theaters are just gorgeous, man. Like the lighting and the seating and just the whole feel of them is really awesome. Did it have a good green room? Like, did you have a cool green room?
No. I was just, if there was, I didn't get it. Usually, I just hang out in the wings of the stage and get ready for the shows. But so no.
Oh man, that's too bad. Like, one of my favorites is going into green rooms and just exploring all the places where actors or acts get ready and chilling on the lounge chairs that are back there and hanging out.
You never know who's been there before you.
Yeah. Sometimes there's pictures or things that people have left as like, hey, so and so was here. Yeah, man, those are the best, dude. So okay, so you got to go to this really beautiful theater. How was your turnout? Was it a good crowd?
Yeah, it was a good turnout. It was for a boarding school, Westminster School in Simsbury, Connecticut, and yeah, a bunch of the students turned out, and it was a good crowd. We had a packed orchestra pit.
That's awesome,
seating,
man.
Floor seating.
And did you do your Summoning Spirit show there?
No, it was just my regular show, Magician for Non-Believers, and hopefully they'll bring me back and bring that show. That'd be cool to do that show there because it's such a cool venue.
Yeah. Cool. And it's now we're into October, so now is your like serious time with that show, right?
Yes, it's gonna get crazy. I'm going to be on the road pretty much 4 or 5 days a week, either doing that show or trying to sell that show. And it should be good.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's October. It's October is, I think, my favorite month of the entire year. It's not freezing cold outside yet, but temperatures have definitely backed the hell off. So it's actually nice. It's pleasant to sit outside. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Monday Clubbers, it's my favorite month. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Do you have a venue that you performed at where you were just taken aback and thought, "Wow, this is the most beautiful place I've ever performed"? Is there anything that sticks out in your mind? That
man, on the spot, I can't remember the name of the school, but I did. Well, okay, so I did Purdue one time, and I did their orientation show, and they had, I think they said 6,000 people at this show. I mean, it was an ungodly amount of people.
6,000 people?
Yeah, like it was insane.
Wow, that's a big audience.
Yeah, it was crazy, and their theater could hold that many. I mean, it was a huge theater, and that was what was really weird about that show. Aside from the fact that there's just an epic shit ton of people there, was that backstage it was such a big backstage that before I walked out, I had no idea. I mean, I knew that there was that many people on the other side of the curtain, but without seeing them come in or without being part of the whole experience, being backstage. It was just me and like 2 tech people, and we were just kind of hanging out. And the curtains were so thick that I couldn't really hear the people that were in the theater, and so it could have been one person on the other side of those curtains. And then I walked through the little break in the curtains to go start my show, and just a wall of sound and people hit me. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorite theaters because it was at least 3-tier balcony seating and just a sea of people just as far back as you could see. It was really cool.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever done a show for 6,000 people.
Yeah, I remember, I think one of my first, my first foray into these conferences that you and I go to, I think my very first conference, I got a showcase for one of our national conferences for a show that I had never successfully done.
Wait, so have you tried doing it and it failed, or you just never attempted yet?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what had happened. The computer had either frozen or the clocks that we used at the time didn't work. Like, it had never successfully, like, we've faked our way through the show, but we had never actually made it all the way through the show without something breaking. And we got a national showcase for it. And so I didn't know anything. I was still very green in that industry. And so, yeah, I just had to kind of bite the bullet and walk out. And my first big show with that game show that hadn't ever worked was for a national showcase. And I don't know, there's 2,000 people there. It was pretty big, and yeah, that was terrifying. It's truly, truly terrifying.
Yeah, in front of that many people. I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, have you been on the road this week?
Yeah. Actually, I just got back yesterday from a show in New York. I was in Syracuse, New York, and the show was fine. But the weird thing that happened to me was that I had actually two weird things happen to me. First thing is during the show, it was a solo show, and so I had tech people from the theater coming in to help me, and I had this super, super surly tech that was like, I was like, hey, I'm going to need like an XLR cord, and she was like, nah, I don't really want to go. I don't really want to go and get that for you. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of need it so that I can plug into the system. Yeah, it's real far away in a closet that I got to get a key for, so I'm not really going to do it. And I was like, God damn it. So anyway, finally, I like get off the stage and just walk up to her, and I'm like, hey, for real, I'm going to need an XLR cord. And she looks up at me, and she's like, oh, hey, were you here like 2 years ago and did a hypnosis show? And I looked at her and blinked for a second, and I realized that she thought I was Salish. And I was like, and she's like, yeah, you hypnotized me. Oh, man, that was a fun show. And I was like, yeah, I bet that was fun. So can you get me an XLR cord? And she's like, oh, yeah, of course, I can get you an XLR cord. And so she walked off. So Salish, buddy, I totally impersonated you to get an XLR cord so I could make my show work.
You could go around as Salish.
I can do a pretty good Salish.
That's great.
So that
man.
was pretty funny. And then I had a weird thing happen on my flight back. I flew from Rochester to Baltimore and Baltimore back to Austin. And on my short flight from Rochester to Baltimore, it was a pretty empty flight. Rochester is a pretty empty airport. I think it's a really small airport. And so it was a relatively empty flight. And I sit down in the seat that I always like. It's on the right-hand side of the plane. I believe they call that starboard. And against the wind. It is, yeah. They're just like ships.
Starboard. What's the left side?
Port.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the back?
Aft.
And the bow. I know the bow.
Or fore. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's very good.
So I was on the right-hand side of the plane against the window, and people are filing in, and one of the last guys to file in is this 6'4", bald-headed, glassed guy that looked like he was in a business suit. He looked like a normal dude, okay? And so he gets on the plane, and there are empty rows towards the back of the plane. There are empty seats all over the place. People have spread out because you don't have to be stuck in a sardine can. There's lots of open seating. And this guy comes up, and he comes to my aisle, and he puts his laptop bag in the middle seat, which like under the middle seat, which I'm totally cool with. If you've got long legs and there's an empty seat, put your stuff in the middle seat. That's totally shared space. That's Switzerland. That's neutral territory, right? And then he proceeds to come into the aisle and sits right next to me in the middle seat. And
what?
Yeah, there's an empty seat in the against the aisle, and then here's this middle seat that he's crammed up next to me with his elbows rubbing onto my elbows. And then I'm just leaning over on the window trying to get away from this giant man. And I thought, okay, well, maybe he's waiting for somebody. And then the doors closed and the plane starts taxiing and he's just sitting there in the middle seat. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, this is weird, but okay. And so I try to close my eyes and go to sleep, and he reaches across me and opens my window.
Oh, plane etiquette 101.
You don't
Never touch the window seat's window.
No, the person in the window, if you really want to see the plane fly, you tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, man, would you mind opening the window? I'd like to see the plane. And then it's up to the person who's against the window to decide if they really want the plane window open or not. But this dude reaches over, brushes my hat and lifts the window shade. And so now I'm awake and creeped out, And then he proceeds to just sit there and he's like doodling with his finger on the tray table for about 10 minutes, just sitting there like making invisible designs on the tray table. And so finally,
at this point, I'm sorry, I have to break in. At this point, you're fearing for your life, I think.
Yes.
I would be.
Yeah, at this point,
this it's not just a rude guy. This guy is a psycho killer.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, by the time the plane landed, I sort of figured out what was going on. But let me continue. So finally, I'm like, okay, well, I guess my response to this whole situation is to get a drink. so I pull out one of my like Southwest coupons to get a drink, and I fold my tray table down, and he sees me reach up to fold my tray table down, and he copies me. He like mirrors me, and he gets his tray table and lowers it down at the exact same time. But never makes eye contact, never does anything, just lowers it down at the exact same time.
Whoa.
And I'm like, okay.
You're in an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, it was really freaking weird. And then he just kept checking his watch. Like, I'd say every 6 minutes he would just, like, look at his watch and then just go back to just staring blankly at the back of the seat. Anyway, I figured out through context clues that there was clearly something was wrong with this guy. And, you know, that's fine. That's fine. And he never did anything or said anything to me at all. So I survived the plane flight. But trying to figure out what was going on was really weird, and just every little... It's so strange how much plane etiquette is just intuitive, right? Like, no one tells you, hey, man, you really shouldn't just reach across somebody's nose and open their window, or, hey, if there's open seating, you should find an open seat where your knee's not rubbing up against somebody else's knee, you know? So, yeah, it was just... The whole thing was just freaking weird, man.
That is weird. I don't even like when people ask me to open the window. Unless you are 12 years or younger, in my head, if you ask me and I do it, in my head I'm saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. If you're 12 years or younger, I will happily do that. If you're above 12 years old and you're asking, okay, I'll give some leeway to 13-year-olds. If you're above 13 years old and you're asking me to touch my window shade for you, I'm hating you the entire time.
Man, I've recently been flying with a bunch of first-time adult flyers, like people who have never flown and are in their 40s and 50s and are on the flight for the first time. And it's really, man, when you fly a lot, any landing is a fine landing. Like, I don't care if the plane bounces 3 times, it's fine. Like, we're on the ground, everybody's safe, it's all good. But I've had people, like, where the plane hit slightly harder than if you go over a pot, like a speed bump, right? Like, a plane would hit slightly harder than that. And they're, like, grumbling and talking about, well, you know, this airline should be embarrassed about this pilot and stuff like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, like, chill the hell out. It's all good.
There are factors beyond our control here.
Right. I mean, you're in a giant metal sky dragon that just flew you from one time zone to another. A speed bump on the ground when you land is pretty good.
Yeah. You ever have to land you ever go to Key West?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a real short runway. So when they come down, at least Southwest, because they fly only 737s, the bigger planes. And then when they come down in Key West, they give you a warning. They're like, we have to stop really quick. Otherwise, we're going into the ocean. So they come down really hard, and it's like, they put full brakes on
it's funny. Not only they stop really hard, but when they take off, they do that running start takeoff where they turn a corner to get on the runway, but they start gunning it halfway through the corner turn. I love that.
You feel the plane tilt, one wheel comes off the tarmac.
Yeah, it does that Fast and Furious like a power slide before they take off. It's pretty great.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, that was my travel experience over the week. Just a psychopath, and had to impersonate Salish to get a cable.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you made it through.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm glad you weren't killed and stuffed into a baggage cart at the airport.
Me too. I'm glad nobody's walking around with my face, stapled to them.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of pet peeves on the airplane, do you ever sit next to a knee space hogger?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I have. And somebody that violated all rules of etiquette on a plane ever. I sat next to this business type who was in a power suit. Dude looked like a douchebag. And he I don't know what happened to his ticket or whatever, but he ended up having to sit in the middle seat next to me. And he did the unthinkable, man. He put his foot in my foot space.
No. Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Terrible.
Yeah, he did. He stuck his little nice polished shine shoe in my foot space so that he could open his knees wider.
Did you give him a heel stomp on those beautiful
Dude,
shiny shoes?
I tried really hard to I was trying to think. Okay, I guess the respectful thing to do here is to just turn to him and be like, "Hey, man, can you get your shit out of my fucking space?" That's the respectful thing to do,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But instead, what I really decided to do was I just kept my knee, pressed up against his knee. And we just had a knee war for the 20 minutes that we had left in the flight. Yeah, and neither one of us budged. I was like, I mean, I don't know what you want me to do here, guys.
I've said something to somebody before. I rarely have the foot thing because this is part of my routine. When I sit down, whenever somebody comes into my aisle to sit in the middle seat, I immediately block it. I put my foot right up against that railing and just block it, and I set the line. I make a line. This is important. Set the line. Get your leg in there. So no, this is my space. You don't come into my space, and I block it with my foot, so there's no way they can put their foot over unless they kick me out of the way.
Yeah, that's smart, man. So your basic strategy is to just line your left foot up with the inner bracket of the seat, of your seat cubby that your feet are supposed to fit into, and just lock it in there so that there's just no chance of any cross contamination of feet.
Yeah, I'll concede the bracket. I don't put my foot on the bracket. I feel that's reasonable. I'll let them have that if they really want it. But right after that bracket ends, it's my space, and don't touch me. And I've had a couple guys where they just they feel like their balls are too big where they can't close their legs. And I don't know. Is that a thing? They really feel like they can't close their legs?
Dude, I think it's a
dick
power
or something.
Move, man.
I don't know.
I think it's just like a power trip where people. It's like doing one of those crazy handshakes where you go over the top and just power shake somebody's arm. I think it's I'm gonna sit in the middle seat and put my knees touching the window and the aisle. I don't care. It's like,
and I don't.
You're a dick.
And usually these power moves, they don't mind touching you. I don't want anybody touching me. That's the
really weird
part. It's the weird part. It's like, I don't want you touching me. Why is your knee touching me? Then why is your elbow touching me? Why is your foot on my lap? Why are you doing this? Never had that before, but it's annoying.
I've had people fall asleep on me. That's also really awkward.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't.
Do they drool?
No, but they don't. I don't seem to mind when people fall asleep on me. It's like somebody just falls asleep and their head just starts leaning further and further, and finally it just rests on my shoulder. And I'll tell you what, if you're sitting in the middle seat and you go to sleep, and I'm the person next to you, I'll let you cuddle. I don't mind.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I'll be a bro. If you need a pillow, I got you. Because really, it's one, I weirdly I don't seem to mind, and two, it's beautiful when people wake up and realize what happened, and I'm just staring at you. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I'm Monday Club. I will give myself five bonus points if next time that happens, I can get a selfie with somebody just asleep, some random person asleep on my shoulder.
That would be amazing. Oh man. So that takes us to
teachable moments.
No, it just puts me in a good, relaxed mood.
Me too, man. Me too.
We should talk like Bob Ross and do a painting now.
Oh, just some happy little teachable moments.
My happy space. So this month, I got a super fancy toothbrush. It is an electronic toothbrush, the Sonic Care Diamond Clean toothbrush. Got a good deal because I know we know a dentist student, so they get good discounts. And my teeth have never felt so clean before. I mean, it's amazing. You never think that just regular brushing is bad for you, but you're probably giving yourself cavities by regular brushing. My teeth have never felt so smooth and clean and amazing. I'm talking faster than I've ever talked before. There's way less friction in my lips, on my teeth. So that's my teachable moment.
How much is a like if you don't have the black market hookup? How much is a fancy Sonicare Diamond Clean toothbrush? Do you know?
No, but I can look it up. I think they're around $200 retail.
Good God! All right. Wow. Okay. And is it something you can travel with, or is it something that's going to stay at your house?
It is. You can travel with it. It comes with a little travel case with a charger, with a USB charger and everything. But it's a little bulkier. It's a lot bulkier than than a toothbrush. So I haven't traveled with it just because I don't want to carry that around. So my teeth, when you see me on the road, I might have bad breath and plaque on my teeth.
All right, man. Well, I'll check it out. I don't know if I can swing $200 for a toothbrush. I don't know. Maybe that's worth it. It's getting a cavity or a tooth pulled sucks. So
$220.
God. Ooh.
And I'm pretty sure we got ours under 100 because yeah. So we got the hookup. And it comes with an app. Well, you download the app, and so while you're brushing, it senses exactly where it is in your mouth, so you know you're brushing like your top right or your bottom left or whatever, and which side you're on. So
port or aft and starboard or port.
Yeah, port or aft, starboard, and it has a timer too, so it tells you exactly when to change. So it times how many. How long you're supposed to be brushing your top right, and then it beeps, and then it shows you should be brushing your top middle right or top middle teeth, and then it beeps again, and you do the other side, and it's pretty fancy.
Do you think your friend can hook a brother up with the little
I can
Sonicare toothbrush? All right.
We can see.
All right.
We can see. Right. This nameless friend, of course.
Well, that's a good teachable moment. My teachable moment is this. Peeps, if you're not using Yelp, you should totally use Yelp. I use Yelp almost all the time when I'm traveling in new cities and I'm hungry, and instead of just going to a Wendy's or a Sonic or something like that, I get on the old Yelp app and I type in, hey, where's a good place to go get some food in this town? And I've been amazed how many local mom and pop shops I've found that are just freaking delicious, that I wouldn't have ever discovered without Yelp. And what's really cool, I've now been using Yelp long enough and reviewing restaurants that I've gone to that I've started getting like free cash back from Yelp directly from the app, and also getting like special coupons. And my sister-in-law just told us that she got a Yelp Elite badge, which means that she gets invited to all these fancy restaurant food tastings where she goes in and they treat her like a celebrity food critic. It's pretty badass. So yeah, use Yelp and explore new cities and find new things that you never would have before, and go out there and enjoy new stuff. They give you coupons and free stuff? Because I've always thought Yelp was... the appearance of Yelp was like kind of the secondary Google reviews. They were like always number 2 in my book. But they give you stuff for using their app. Yeah. Like I guess restaurants. I think restaurants probably go to Yelp and are like, hey, when people come and they review our thing and you get 5 stars or whatever, we'll give them free appetizers or the $5 coupon or something like that. But I just got a notification on my phone that was like, hey, you have $6.75 in Yelp bucks that you should use for the next time you go out and eat. Oh,
That's
thanks.
That's a great
Yelp.
tip. I never
Yeah.
knew that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that now. Yelp.
Cool.
All right. Van, you with all the money you save with Yelp, you can buy a super fancy Sonicare Diamond Clean toothbrush.
That's right. So that you've just eaten all the food, gotten all the plaque, and now you can get rid of it. It's a win-win.
We're here for you here at Monday Club. Thank you guys for being part of the club. Have a wonderful Monday. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you guys so much for being part of the club. Check us out at MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, Twitter at Monday Club Pod, Instagram at Monday Club Podcast. Email us anything you want or advice to drink. MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much to James Caldwell, our amazing sound engineer, and thanks to Zach for our music. Stay safe, have fun, and have a wonderful Monday. Go buy a toothbrush. Dental hygiene is very important.